Right then, joined by Brad Lucas. We're here today at the wonderful Oaks Lakes in Sessay. We're running a bit late, as per usual. About 10 minutes into the match now. We're on the new lakes today, Ash Beach and Sycamore. We've drawn peg 29 on Sycamore. Fairly happy. Just off the fish, I think. We've started chucking a bomb. There's a little aerator in front of 28. Started on that. It's going to be a very slow match. It's carp fishing, a couple of eyed, but predominantly carp fishing. So we've just started chucking a bomb. Piece of meat on. And it's not going, I mean, I've not had a sign yet. It was always going to be slow. But lad on 26, he's had one. I've had Bert opposite me, he's fouled up one first chuck. So it looks like there's a few fish about. I've not seen many, if any actually. We started on the bomb just because those fish are sat in the middle, I think. There's been a few signs in the middle of the lake where that shoal of fish are. And there's been two top in front of 26. And the fish just seem to back off that bit more. And they want to be to cover, and I guess the only bit of cover is the aerators. So we started chucking to that. Hopefully we get one. We've also set up on the pole, set up a short line for late on. If we can catch some feeding, that's where we will. And then I've also set up at like 13, 14, dobbing on the pole, fishing corn, maggots. But still not seen many signs of anything. So it's just a slow start, work our way in, see what gets caught. There's, I mean, the lad on 5 opposite 26. He started on the pole, he's not had a fish yet. So we're just keeping an eye on everyone, seeing what everyone's doing. And then hopefully we start to see a few fish come out and we can go from there and see what's best on the day. Just had our first liner there. That's interesting. Bang on 20 minutes in now. Just had our first sign there. Almost like a slow drop back. Nothing's came after it, but it's a nice sign now. It's nice to know there's some fish in the area. But like I said, definitely not in the right area, I guess. Feel like we're just off them. If you can see to my left, you can see that we're actually the end peg. There's 30 pegs on Sycamore, 2 banks. We're on 29. Next peg's 26. So we've got a bit of room, which can't be that great in winter. They do seem to back off into the space, but we can also chuck up the bank if we need. But they don't normally sit up there. It's normally quite a lot shallower up there than it is in the middle. So they don't tend to sit up there. Constantly trying to have a look if any fish are coming out. In fact, there's another one just top there, right on 26's float. We've got a sign there, it might be on. No, just a liner. It's good news again though, I've had 2 liners in the space of quite literally 2 minutes. It's quite funny, as soon as I said that, it topped on his float. chucking a piece of meat again there. Bit awkward casting, trees everywhere. That'll do nicely. Thing is with bomb fishing in winter, it can be very tricky to get it right. I mean, although we're fishing to an air rate, we don't want to be chucking smack on it because they can soon back off, you know. There's like 3 or 4 anglers that are chucking towards-ish, in a way, to the aerator, so all that commotion, they're going to eventually back off, so try and catch an early fish there. So's everyone else, you know, there's 3 of us chucking there, I think, in and around the area, so you don't want to push them out too quick. But then you run the risk of not getting a bite at all, so. Nice to know we've had a sign though. 2 signs in fact. Like I say, the lad on 26 now chucking a waggler, so that can work well in here. It's not great for us today, we've got a harsh crosswind really. Picks up and down. But weather's staying dry. But the waggler just won't work, it's just too windy. It's very tricky to see as well. Got a lot of white water and makes presentation a bit tricky with this wind. Changing all the time, got it now blowing in our face now, but we got here, it was right to left. It also makes dobbing on the pole with light rigs really tricky. So a little bit up against it really, but it's the same for most people on my bank today anyway. Setup on the bomb is pretty simple really, but it's the little things that make a difference. Just fishing a nice little olivet today. Probably a bit unheard of for bomb fishing. Something I got taught a few years ago. Olivets, just for the lightness. You know, there's not many bombs that are about 3-4 grams in weight, you know. So that's what we're looking for. Just got a little 4-gram olivet on. Trying to make, when casting, minimal disturbance possible. And that does that. We have got another bomb set up, a bit heavier. We need to be chucking a bit further if that wind picks up. 6 gram. But this at the moment's lovely. So, just over half an hour now into the match, and still only seen that 1 fish come out. I mean, at the start we were all chucking to the aerator. I believe only 1 person had a fish. And everyone seemed to move a bit now. The lad that started on the pole, I can see, he's come off that. He's changing, doing something. But opposite me, he's moved his bomb line and started chucking into the middle a bit, just like I have really. I've had nearly 4 minutes on this line now and still not had a sign. But I'm not expecting too much too fast. I'm trying to build the way in, but got to try and find some liners or some signs of fish so you can have confidence you're chucking in the right area. Things with winter carp fishing, they just ball up, and yes, it might get a bit peggy, but sometimes it can be fishing you peg and you don't realise because you don't find them. So location's key, as we know. Trying to find some fish really. The lad to my right swapped a couple of times now. I believe he started on the pole, chucked a bomb, had one, chucked a waggler. So that's the only peg I've really seen fish topping. Yeah, so he's chucking a waggler there, just in front of him. But opposite's me chucking a bomb. In fact, I've just seen it might have been an eye top there, just past the aerator. There is a few eyed in here, but you're never going to win with eyed. hoping it's going to fish a bit better than what it has done recently. Now you're going to need 50-60 pounds to get in the frame, I think, which is like 16-18 carp, something like that. But you never know, it could fish hard. I mean, 10 carp might be really good. The average 3 to 4 pound. I'd like to go on the pole, but that wind's just up and down all the time, blowing all sorts of directions at the moment. Just makes presentation really poor. I think my best chance is to chuck a bomb. Hopefully try and catch some fish, but find some fish anyway. Right then, so we're an hour and 20 minutes in now. Fortunately, we've still not had a bite. Still very slow for everyone. Start to get a few regular signs. You know, you can almost chuck now and expect a sign or two. I've had one where I think that should have been a bite, but we missed it, and whether it was or not, we're not sure. Gone back to chucking to this aerator. We had a quick sign, a couple of quick signs, and it's looking promising. But I've seen 2 fish caught since the last time I checked up on you in the last 50 minutes, and that's Bert opposite. He's had 2. I think one was foul hooked. I know he's lost another foul hooker, but one was in the mouth. Chucking to a similar area that I am now. I've had an attempt at chucking to my left instead of my right. Not really had a sign on that. There's definitely some fish in the area. I know that because there's been 3 fish caught from that area now. But things looking like they're maybe starting to pick up a bit. A few more regular signs. Hopefully some fish starting to move a bit. Not chucked up the bank yet. I don't feel like we'll catch up there, but there might be the odd ones to catch. I just feel like this is definitely my best chance. I've seen some fish caught up against it. I know there's fish there. I'm getting signs. It's just almost like a waiting game now. Just try and pick out some fish. Definitely going to chuck up that bank soon now. If not my next cast. But yeah, there's not really much to talk about really. We've not had much to show. So, got one now. Perfect timing. How's that for timing? Did feel like it was coming. Starting to get a few signs, so doesn't feel like a nice one, just a small one. Take anything on these cold days. Just charging round to my left. Got him now. Make sure I don't knock him out. That's the first fish of the day. Small one. So, not a bad start. 2.5 pound. Definitely going to have another chuck there. Just fishing corn on the bomb. Simple setup really. 4 gram Olivet down to 15-inch hook length. Another chuck to that aerator, see if we can catch another one. That felt just a bit short really. Can't afford to be chucking again, but you've got to get your cast right. It's awkward casting really, trying to cast around these trees. come off a bit. See, Bert had 2 and 2 chucks pretty much, and he's not had another sign. So I feel they're just moving around in a ball, so normally when you catch a 1, you can hopefully catch another one. So we're not going to leave this one in as half as long as the last one, because I want to keep chucking regularly to that aerator. Just start the stopwatch again. It's a nice little item of tackle to use this time of year, all times of year really, but it's good to know how long you're chucking for and how long bites come in. You know, if you're getting regular bites, nice to know how long you're leaving it in for before you get a bite. Stops wasting time and things like that. But don't get me wrong, on these harder days it's not as useful because you're only getting a few bites, but you never know. I mean, they could rock up somewhere, we could find a ball of fish and we could get whenever we put in. So I'm going to keep chucking that to the aerator, leave that for a while. I'm going to keep doing that, plodding along. We'll catch back up with you, hopefully, with another fish on. If not, I'll be changing, doing something different. Right then, we're back. 2 hours in now. Like I said, carried on chucking that. Thankfully it's gone round. It's gone round twice since I last spoke, so we've got 3 now. And just before we started filming again there, just had another pull then, hooked into it and it's fallen off straight away, as if it wasn't just caught right in the lip. So we've had 4 pulls pretty much, 3 fish in the net. It's still very hard going, everyone's on about the same, 3 or 4 fish. So you know, there's a few fish coming out, and it's looking like it could get a bit better as the day goes on. Since we last spoke, I've just started to fire like literally 3 or 4 maggots out to 13 metres, because that wind's started to drop a bit now, so hopefully we get to go on that pole. It's just a bit too windy, and you know, I want if I do go on it, I want it to be 100% and I can present a nice rig, a nice light dobbing rig, and hopefully catch something on it, give myself the best chance anyway. So just quite literally like 3 or 4 maggots twice every 5 minutes, pretty much hardly any bait, just to get something in the peg. But this line looks like it, you know, I'm pretty sure I could sit on this all day and get a few more pulls, but I feel like that pole line will come a bit better later on. But hopefully I can carry on catching towards this aerator, just chucking again, bomb and corn. Seems to be a lot less signs as well, which is actually turned out to be a good thing. It went all sort of quiet, and then I had pretty much 2 and 2 chucks. My eyes were teasing me there. Looked away and I thought it went round. But that wind's definitely dropped now. You start to see a bit more. The lighting's terrible where that pole line is 30-40 metres. It's a bit of white sky, a bit of trees in the distance, you know what I mean? It's terrible to see, but it's alright if it stays like that. I keep saying I want to try up that bank, but I've still not tried it. I just think, I don't want to sound silly and say it's too good over there, but you have confidence in getting a bite now to that aerator. If you add up all the fish that have been caught to it, there's actually quite a few fish sat on there. I'm sure there's a lot more fish that are sat there that haven't been caught yet. And I've not seen a single sign up that bank, and like I said, it is a lot shallower, but it is cover, so you can't not think about it and not think about, because because quite literally no one's chucked there. There's only me and Bert opposite me that can chuck there. If no one's chucked there could be 10 fish waiting for me. So I've got to give it a chance, but at the moment I don't want to be the one to chuck, catch one, push them off a bit, and then maybe Bert chucks there and catches 3 and 3 chucks because I've pushed him out the peg a bit. It's all about getting your timings right, and I think I'm on the best thing at the moment, giving it a chance. Like I said, I've had 3 pulls, 2 fish, 1 lift on in the last half an hour, 40 minutes, so there's definitely not the right time to come off it now. This cast has been in 7 minutes now, so definitely getting time to recast, I think. You might be wondering why I want to recast. I mean, for me, I like to try and keep them, almost keep bait going through the peg, you know, chucking a bomb, getting a nice new area, and it's a visible bait. So, I mean, I've seen 2 fish actually get caught on the drop. Obviously, when someone casts, I'm always looking where they're casting, and all of a sudden they're chucking, and 10 seconds later they've hooked into one. I've not had one on the drop, but it does happen a lot. But yeah, like I said, there's odd fish coming about, out and about, but not much going on. But we're going to keep plodding away. Probably chuck this again soon. Maybe have one more cast of that. If I don't have one, maybe chuck up the bank, and then, depending on how that is, if we get one or not, then I'm either going to go on the pole or carry on up that bank. I'm not too sure. So I'll catch up with you half an hour or so, or whenever I next decide to change. Hopefully catch them in between, and I'll let you know how it's going. Right then, 2.5 hours in now, and it never went round again to the aerator, unfortunately. So I made a decision, stepped it up a bit, got a 10-foot rod out now, and a 5 gram bomb. I just chucked up that bank, just needed that bit more weight to get it over there. Wind's picked up slightly, chucked over there, sat there. I had an eye, but it wasn't great, so I tried it. But when you catch an eye over there, it's not a great sign, do you know what I mean? When you're looking for carp, and then Bert's had another one, chucked into the aerator after coming off it, so hopefully I've actually just chucked to the aerator again now, hoping that we both come off it at the same time. He went on the pole, I've chucked over there, and he's gone straight back in and had one straight away, so hopefully they're settled again on the aerator, and hope we can get a quick couple of fish again, because that's what happened last time. Both had a few quick fish and then just died on us, but still rock hard any fish coming out. Bert starting to get a bit of a lead, but we're talking 2 or 3 fish, which is nothing really, but on a cold winter's day it might be vital. Still feeding that pole line, a couple of maggots every couple of minutes, but hoping to drop on that soon. There's one lad that's fished a pole pretty much from the start, and we think he's only had 1 fish, so just don't know if they're going to come into pole range just yet, if at all really. But I'm glad that I've gone over there, got it out of my head. I don't think it's right, no signs, just one-eyed out of the blue, and I feel like there's definitely more fish to me right, which we knew anyway, but I thought I might catch some fish up to my left. definitely most of the fish are balled up in between. It's like a bubbler to the right of 26 and then an aerator to the left of peg 26, so it definitely seems to be sat in there. I mean, Bert's had most of his fish chucking past the aerator to 26. Again on corn now, I can see he's fishing corn on the bomb. Just like what we are really. You can see a few lads pass there, and I've not seen them catch a fish yet, but obviously it's hard to tell. I'm not watching them all the time, they're a bit further away now. It's definitely slow though, but 2.5 hours in, we're not even halfway through the match yet, so a long way to go. But at the moment, it's not looking great, it's very slow. But that's what it's about on these cold winter days, making the right decisions. We're now focusing on 2 lines instead of 3. Got one out the way. And we've kind of eliminated an option that I think to be the wrong option really. Definitely not right chucking up that bank. We know where the fish are sat now. Or at least some of the fish are sat. Getting that pole line hopefully ready to try and catch a few on it shortly. Right then, so just hooked into another one there. Fish into that aerator. It's on a bit of a charge. And the little thing I just did then, I just swapped to meat instead of corn. And it's gone round. It took a while, but it went round. And I actually got a few more signs that cast as well, so Bert's not had one in a while. So you never know, it might be the start of some fish starting to come this way a bit. Whether it was the meat or whether it was location, I'm not sure. But now it gives us that confidence to chuck it again on meat. See if we can carry on getting some signs. I think you're trying to get us snagged here. Now, caught up in the wires. Well, nearly had us. Another nice fish there, nailed. Again, just going to chuck it again with some meat this time. See if, hopefully, like I said, there's some fish come this way, but I always believe one fish is. That tree's catching us again. Wind's blowing it. It's awful really for chucking. Really got to try and get round it. That one was nice. See if it goes round again. I carry on chucking to that aerator. Trying to keep looking about. I mean, that rain started again, wind's not helping. So it's not looking like that pole line's gonna come into play really at all. Might just be an out and out bomb match. Bert, who was catching earlier, I think he's on at 7, maybe 8 fish now. Whereas I've only got 4 and an eyed. But he's not had one since the last time we checked him. So whether it's slowed down for him, maybe them fish have moved slightly, and you never know, they might have come this side of the aerator and I might start to get a run now. But I think that's the key in winter. You've got to, can't set too much up. You don't want to be putting bait everywhere. Like today, we've pretty much not fed anything really. And even when we did chuck on another line, we've not fed anything. That's the importance of bomb fishing. It's just so, it's all about location and where you're putting it and for what reasons, without even feeding, without the need of feeding. Got another liner there, quite a big liner in fact. That's a good sign. Whereas before, we weren't getting any liners. Starting to get a few now. That's the only downside to fishing a really light bomb. It tends to move, and when it wants to move, it will move. Fish knocks it. Just tend to muck you up a bit, but you know when you're tight to it, and when you're dragging it, you don't want to drag it, but you've got to be tight to it at the end of the day. That wind is absolutely freezing when it starts to blow. Definitely a cold wind, and that probably doesn't help the fishing at all, especially when it's only blowing down to me really. It's even starting to rain a bit, just to add a bit more to the weather. Into the 5th fish now, and this one was again on meat. Interesting really. In fact, we had one just before as well that went like that. We thought it was on, wasn't on, picked up, wasn't on. But it was definitely a bite. I think we missed it. So, last 3 bites have all been on meat now. So it's interesting really. Definitely a few more signs, like I was saying. It's good, very good. We need it. There's still a few fish behind. Even in this one, I'd love to get me snag down there. He's swam out. But yeah. What is it? A 5th? 5th fish? Yeah, 5th fish. I know. Feels a good one. Definitely wanting to run a bit. Another great tip for winter fishing, having a nice soft rod. Using a 9-foot today of the Horizon bomb rods. It's really soft, lunge. Get every lunge, every head shake. Really lovely rods are these. Absolutely love them. So important. That's a nice one. Just proper on that one. He's £4, isn't he? At least. Beautiful. Good. Put another piece of meat on. Just felt right. So I think what I've just heard, Bert's just lost another one that was foul hooked again. Now I've heard him foul hook at least 4 now already, and he's had at least 9, maybe 10 already in his net. So you can tell, right, that's 14 fish hooked, a couple of metres away from where I'm fishing. So definitely looks like more fish there, but to foul hook them, you know, it could mean they're off bottom, things like that. I've not had any on the drop or foul hooked or anything like that. Well, mine's been proper, but I think that's because there's less fish in the peggers. Obviously a lot less chance of foul hooking them, and in winter they tend to stack up on top of each other, sit on top of each other, and that's why you get lots of liners and foul hookers. That cast then fell a bit to the right, a bit short, but I don't mind it to the right. I think that's where the fish are. I don't know if we know that. But tell you what, it is pretty cold. Even starting to shiver now. Don't feel that cold, but the fish definitely know it's cold. I'll tell you that. Liner straight away there. Could have even be another liner. And that was to the right, that wasn't even near, I guess you could say. Another liner, constant. Is it on? Not sure. No, I think look, the branch, I think that's what was either we cast over it. There's a fish near it or a lot. Only I would do that, wouldn't I? Only I'd be unlucky enough to do that. Can't catch fish, but we can catch woody trees. Right, so about 15 minutes to go now, and it's been pretty uneventful, unfortunately. Nothing's really got going at all. In fact, the last time I spoke to you, what was it? An hour and 40 to go, was it? Or am I waffling? Might be wrong there. But we've not even had a bite since the last time we spoke. So still got the 5 carp and one-eyed. It's been pretty rock hard. It's been evident that there's been a shoal of fish sat to my right, in front of the guy to my right. And obviously the lad opposite, Bert, has been chucking that way and caught around the back of the aerator. Fortunately for me, that is how winter fishing is. But that is the truth about winter fishing. It's not all easy and lots of dobbing and lots of catching, lots of chucking, and it keeps going round, because it really doesn't. But it's days like this where it really makes you think. It's also great days for learning as well. Like if there was anything I'd do different, is there? I'm not sure really. I think that pole line was a waste of time, but that is hindsight. If it had been like it is now all day, I feel like I could have caught on it. So I don't feel like that was a waste of time setting up. But I mean, hindsight's always a better angler, as we all know. But I'd have set up the pole, but it was clear today that it just wasn't the right day for it. Maybe I should have knew earlier that it was never going to settle enough, and I should have forgot about the pole. But it's all well and good saying that. It's not as easy as knowing halfway through the match. But I was never going to catch it, I don't think. Not in the conditions it was earlier. I felt like my only chance to catch on the pole was probably that first hour, maybe, before they backed off. But it looked like straight away that there was fish sat where they've ended up. Really, they've not moved all day. Lad to my right, I'm not 100% sure what they've had. They've been bickering all day about how many they've got, but I don't know if it was live or not. But I know Bert said about 13. I only had six pulls. A lad to my right, I think he's had about the same as Bert, about 13, 15, something like that. I'm not too sure, but that's just how winter fishing goes. I know the lad opposite the guy that's caught loads, he's backed up 2 hours ago. It really can make the difference between a couple of metres difference away and you don't get a pull. I mean, apparently they can see a shoulder fish now. With the backs out there, I can actually see one. But it's just how it is. I'm trying to have a bit of laugh now. But it's the way winter fishing goes. So yeah, I don't think I'd have done anything much different apart from concentrate more on that bomb line to the aerator, which is what you've got to do. I mean, if in all honesty, if I'd have had better able to cast, I mean, the trees have been overhanging today, so it made casting anywhere pretty impossible apart from in front of me. But if I had an easier cast, I'd think I'd have spent more time up against the bank. I don't think Bert's been able to chuck there, so I think I'd have had it by myself. Which I think, spending more time on that, I'd only had 5 fish, so I was bound to catch hopefully a few more doing that. But even if I wasn't going to catch much less. But doing these tactics that I've done today can quite simply win the match in a week's time off the peg to my right, or the same tactics. They're definitely winning tactics, that's what I believe. I know the lads that have caught today, I can see they've fished the exact same or similar, fishing the same ways, just of course different pegs. But there's definitely ways to get more bites in winter off any pegs really, and it's the smaller things, but majority of the time it's just getting the most out of your peg. Now I've been chucking this, I've just had a sign there actually as we speak. I've been chucking this for about an hour and a half now and it's still not gone. Quicker casts, I don't think they help at all really. I think the commotion going in doesn't help, but that's what the idea of lighter bombs are, and fishing small inline bombs are definitely the way forward. From what I've seen, Bert's fished inline and 10-12 inch hook lengths, things like that. Corn's been the best by far. I've seen everyone fishing corn. I had a few on meat actually, but apart from that, it's all very similar fishing. The lad to my right said a few on a waggler. I know it works well on here. If it was like this all day, like I keep saying, it's only this last 20 minutes it started to be nice, flat and calm, and they're just saying there they're still getting liners. I've not had one, apart from that one I've just had. Bert's into another one now. It really is. Just spectating now. Just a few minutes to go before the end of the match, and pretty uneventful day unfortunately. But like I said, I think Bert opposite me said everything on a bomb. The lad to my right said a few on a waggler but mainly on the bomb. Definitely feels the way to go. On pretty much all carp venues through winter, bomb's deadly tactic as we all know. Even bomb and corn, no bomb bread works a lot. But like I was saying, the water here is still quite cloudy and coloured. That's why it doesn't work as much. That's a good thing to take into note, you know, when you get to your peg. Finding features and finding things to fish to. But also looking at the water quality and how murky it is will depend on what bait's best, you know. Of course, corn's yellow and bright and visible, just like bread's visible, but that white's just a bit hard to see in murkier water. That's why corn just stands out on here. There's definitely some tips of advice to, when you get to your peg on these carpy venues in winter, look for features, even ice when there's ice on the lake. Fish definitely shoal up under that ice, 100%. So fishing off the back of ice or sending it out. Just don't do that. That's another good tip. But yeah, very, very uneventful apart from the 2 anglers that are fishing to the shoulder fish. Right then, so just finished a match, and one thing I want to talk you through is the bomb setup. Now, mine's a little bit different from probably the usual, and I think it's really important this time of year to get everything bang on, like having a few little tips up your sleeve and changing a few things and really looking at the finer details really gets you those extra bites. Now, starting off with a rod. Got a 9-foot bomb rod. It's the Horizon Pro. Lovely soft rod. Called the bomb because it's that bit softer. 9 foot because we're chucking up to, like, does anything up to 25-30 metres comfortably. It's a rod that I love. Super soft. Really nice bend to it. I use a 10 foot if I'm going a bit further. But onto the reel. This is the TDR 2508. It's a nice, compact, small reel. Got a single handle on it. Reel line 018. Now down to the key part, something maybe a bit different is I actually use an Olivet there, little Olivet. That is a 4 gram. Some days I can go down to 1.5, 2 gram I've used in the past. Anything up to 5 gram, that's the heaviest Olivet I'll use. And then the reason why I use an Olivet is just it's slim. It's a slim line. It's not like a block of weight, so it goes in that much. It's a lot subtle when it goes in the water. Doesn't make as much noise, which in winter is absolutely key. You know, minimal disturbance possible. That is down to a tiny little swivel. I don't know what size that will be. Something like an 11 or 12. Tiny little swivel attaching the main line, and then onto a hook length. Now, hook length fairly simple. Nothing too different on this. This is 15 inches down to a quick stop. Size 14 Kaizen. I'd probably use a 12 if the average of carp was a bit bigger. Fishing with carp, of course, today. Average is 3 to 4 pounds, so 14 seems perfect this time of year. Hook length line 020. Nice and stiff, strong. It's laying on the bottom. I'm not too bothered about diameter on that because, again, it's laying on the bottom. If it was popped up, if I was fishing bread, I'd probably fish a smaller hook because it's obviously popped up off the bottom. And I'd fish thinner line because it's just like a pole rig. It is going up into the water and you can see it. So that's 020, nice and simple. And that's a simple setup that I've used predominantly all day, and I use all winter if I'm carp fishing, which is a little bit different on the Olivet. Now, I've got another one that's set up, and I might set up a few throughout the day. I've not really caught on this one, I've not had to chuck this one, but get the film tangled here. But that is just the simple. I'll just get it out here. I hope, hooking myself here. This one I've not used today, but something I'll quickly show you. It's just the Matrix Inline New Bombs. That is a 5 gram. Now that is a lot more of a block of weight, but if I'm chucking that bit further or chucking up to islands where I need to be, that thing is with the Olivet, you can't always get perfect casting because you're spreading the weight over a bit more, whereas that, it hits the spot a lot more and it's just a bit more. And that's on a quick change bead, a bit more in line, and that just a bit more simpler, but I've not really fished for that today. The Olivet is what I have full confidence in for all my winter carp fishing. Hopefully when it's nice flat like that today is perfect. It's been a bit windy today, so that's when I look at fishing heavier bombs. Now, summer's totally different. Although we're not fishing summer, I'm not going to talk to you about that, but summer's totally different, and this is why it's the importance of it's not simple just chucking a bomb out. It's really getting the advantages and using different things for winter, because that's how important it really is. So that's my bomb setup.